Good morning and thanks for joining us for KBOI 2 News Midday. I'm Rick Douglas. Now to your top 11 stories at 11. This morning, hope is fading that any survivors will be found from a cargo ship that sank near the Bahamas during Hurricane Joaquin. The El Faro vanished last week with 33 crew members on board. The Coast Guard says 5 days is usually the maximum a person can survive in current ocean conditions. Weather experts say the ship headed straight into the eye of the storm with its 120-mile-an-hour winds and 50-foot waves. Ada County Sheriff's deputies believe alcohol might have played a role in a motorcycle crash last night that sent 2 people to the hospital. It happened just before 11:30. Deputies say the motorcycle was northbound on Meridian Road near the Deer Flat intersection in Kuna when it struck a car going southbound. The 2 people on the motorcycle were taken to a nearby hospital with unknown injuries. Neither one was wearing a helmet.
Usually when we are called out because of the speeds, I wouldn't say usually, but I'd say frequently it's an injury type accident.
The cause of last night's motorcycle crash is still under investigation. A Caldwell woman is behind bars in connection with a hit and run on Happy Valley Road in Nampa Saturday morning. Canyon County deputies arrested Maria Gonzalez after locating the maroon van that they say hit a cyclist. Gonzalez will be arraigned later today and is expected to be charged with a felony count of leaving the scene of an injury accident. The bicyclist remains hospitalized in serious condition. Boise police are still looking into a deadly crash that killed 2 people south of Boise yesterday afternoon. Investigators say a semi hauling sand was traveling on Pleasant Valley Road and its trailer flipped as it turned onto Gowan. The trailer landed on a pickup in the next lane, killing 2 of the 3 people inside. The semi-driver was not hurt. No charges have yet been filed. An Army officer's recommendation on whether Sergeant Bo Bergdahl should face a court-martial will remain sealed for now. Lieutenant Colonel Mark Visger presided over last month's Article 32 hearing against Bergdahl and submitted a report with his recommendation. The Army has not indicated what that recommendation is. Bergdahl's charged with desertion and misbehavior before the enemy after leaving his post in Afghanistan 6 years ago. South Carolina is heading into a 4th day of flooding, and there's no sign of a let-up to the rising water. At least 13 people have died so far, 11 in South Carolina and 2 in North Carolina. 18 dams have been breached or failed since Saturday, forcing people to evacuate their homes. Damage is estimated to be in the billions of dollars. Next fall, the West Ada School District will be conducting computerized background checks of all visitors to district schools. Each school will be able to tap into a nationwide database. Above all, the computerized background check of visitors to any school in the district would provide instant alerts about anyone who is a registered sex offender. Money for the computer background check program will come from taxpayer dollars in the plant facility levy, which covers capital expenditures. Fed up with more gun control laws proposed for San Francisco, Highbridge Arms will close shop at the end of the month, the last such store in the entire city. The latest proposal before the San Francisco Board of Supervisors demands that every gun transaction be recorded and sent to the police department. So gun shop owner Steve Alcaro has chosen to shut down. City Supervisor Mark Farrell says that's fine with him.
The goal here is not to run anybody out of business, but from my perspective, the public safety of San Francisco residents comes first.
Well, the gun shop owner says the law makes no sense since criminals don't shop at his store. In fact, he has more than a dozen surveillance cameras on the premises, so the only video recordings he gets are of people buying guns legally. Oil giant BP is set to pay $20.8 billion to settle civil claims linked to the 2010 offshore disaster. Nearly 134 million gallons spilled into the Gulf of Mexico after an oil rig explosion. The settlement also requires BP to commit to a widespread cleanup project aimed at restoring wildlife, habitat, and water quality. No more racing to beat the morning clock to grab a sausage McMuffin, a biscuit, or hotcakes. All-day breakfast debuted today at McDonald's restaurants nationwide. It's a move by the big chain to try to boost sagging sales and a response to competitors who have been ramping up their morning menus. The chain began testing the extended breakfast menu in March, but be aware, hash browns will not be available at all locations. The Nobel Prize parade continued this morning in Stockholm, Sweden. Today, the Physics Prize was awarded to Takaaki Kajita of Japan and Arthur McDonald of Canada. The two men were honored for their work in the science of neutrinos. Neutrinos are tiny particles that whiz through the universe at nearly the speed of light.